So, an ex-kickboxer turned webcam pimp is the one holding the key to society's truth. I think we are way smarter than that. There is a reason the Tate brothers were everywhere. At least there was while they had a purpose. And it's not because they are a threat to the Matrix. That was never a thing, and the system never feared them. Who is even there to be scared? There is never a single person or a single organisation to blame or intimidate. That's why it's called a system. It just made them the same way it made the course of history. Okay, let's not get this channel pushed deeper in the shadows. He was preaching about a man's duty to work and provide, to raise strong sons, feminine and kind daughters, and to hold on to traditional roles. He was enforcing family values and leading men to a better life. But what was he actually saying? Let's see. Women are broken, empathy is weakness, freedom is found in hustling, and you're either rich,
I'm so cool, I have spare of everything,
or irrelevant. Also, if you ain't buffed up, you ain't shit. Of course, some of that felt real.
When we were poor, how often was I talking about trying to get rich?
Because life is getting harder every week and men are struggling. In fact, as life became more convenient over the past several decades, testosterone levels have dropped significantly, nearly 25% in just the past 20 years. Sperm counts are collapsing too, and while the connectivity is at all-time high, young men are lonelier than ever. It's obvious that we are facing a very uncertain future, but instead of addressing that crisis, we've got a couple of reality show stars on steroids selling us an identity built on rage, paranoia, and ego. Taking all that into account, they were basically selling us a pressure cooker as the Brotherhood. You already know most of their wise statements, because the propaganda machine that was created for them was functioning flawlessly. Thousands of young men paying them for recycled advice while becoming unpaid marketers is just a correctly executed social engineering project. Everyone and their dog heard a podcast or have watched his 30-second rant of some sort, all aiming at the same thing: masculinity. If the Tate brothers were ever really aiming at the shadow government, or any organisation, we would at least hear one valid statement, one name, one location, an actual solid evidence of some sort. Anything but almost a decade of yelling.
The Matrix has attacked me.
When you are a real deal, you don't get rewarded with fame and millions. We all know how it went down with Julian Assange. He didn't drop ego-stroking soundbites or repackaged hustle advice. He exposed bloody war crimes. He revealed agency black sites, drone strikes, backdoor deals, and real government lies and their schemes. He held a mirror to global power and they smashed it over his head. After years in painful exile, he is now awaiting extradition to the US, facing 175 years in prison. No happy end for him. That's what the system does to a man who really pulls back the curtain. Maybe I am wrong about going this route, and should be worried about my mental health, but it's kind of obvious that they are manufactured like every other public personality that serves a temporary purpose. If my theory isn't right, it must be a near miss. Something larger happened here. This project is way above a self-proclaimed genius's head. Let's not forget where it happened. Romania is a country that, like many in the Balkans, has long been shaped by the will of the United States government. From Serbia and Kosovo to Albania and Bosnia, this entire region has been treated as a geopolitical sandbox, where government officials are secretly funded to push a specific agenda and population is manipulated by so-called reforms backed by Washington and Brussels. Also, donations to the core institutions through various projects can be really hefty. In these conditions, it's not hard to imagine that a counter-favour is one phone call away. What call, you may ask? Well, turns out most of Romania's prosecutors are aligned with these funded institutions and influenced by the US and the EU, especially in high-profile organised crime cases. This is not a secret, it's just how the machine works. And just when the walls were closing in on the Tate brothers, the call came in. Sources suggest the Trump administration, through allies like Richard Grenell, helped pressure Romanian authorities to lift a travel ban against the Tates. Now, Grenell wasn't just anyone, he was Trump's former ambassador to Germany, and more importantly, the US Special Envoy to the Balkans. He brokered deals in Serbia, pushed American telecom interests in Kosovo, and moved like a shadow across the region for years. So when someone like him intervenes, it's not random. It was a strategic move, but it didn't work. Or so they say. What I say is that they went to US to debrief and strike an exit deal. Either way, the infamous brothers are now bouncing between countries, grasping for relevance while the algorithm quietly turns its back. They are hitting their last interviews. Most of the attention they are getting is from their sworn cult-like following. I mean, look at this guy's excitement. There is no more unfiltered reach. His digital empire isn't burning, it's being suffocated. The Brotherhood wasn't real. It's just another broken piece of propaganda, waiting to be archived forever. They are masculinity reapers, harvesters of male identity. They gathered the broken and the angry and sold them back a weaponized version of manhood, loud, hollow, and perfectly disposable. It wasn't about fixing men, it was about tagging and neutralizing them. When the next wave of real identity crisis comes, when young men truly begin to ask why the world is crumbling around them, the system will already have a proven blueprint on how to contain it. Tate was a prototype, an artificial saviour designed to implode. Are we going to fall for the next one? The one that will offer to push us into the opposite extremity? Think for yourself. Trust no one.